back here. This is your host, Player One. I have Kent on the other line. Say what's up.
What's up, guys?
So, as the title, you can tell from the title, we're gonna go ahead and we're doing an anime talk today, and the anime we have in mind is My Hero Academia or Boku no Hero.
It's
I'm
the
really,
same thing.
yeah, I'm really bad with names, so pretty sure most of you guys already know that because I don't pronounce most names.
Well, it's just a language thing. Boku no Hero, My Hero, it's the same
Yeah.
thing in two different languages.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but yeah, I figured me try saying it both ways in case. But like I said, I'm really, really bad with names, so I'm pretty sure by now everybody knows that. So, um, if you've seen any of my videos, you know I'm really bad with names. It's just the way it is for me, and not that I don't want to change it, but I'm not gonna change it. It's gonna make a lot of work.
That's why it been me long.
That's why what?
I tried my best to remember names for you, but your
Yeah.
bad memories and such.
Yeah, that's the thing, So, like, I know general thing, who they are, what they do, but I can't tell you the name to save my life. Um, so we're gonna go ahead right now and do up to the anime, which I think, what is the current chapter? I should have checked that out, but we can go ahead and have a discussion up to the current chapter, everything we see, because there's a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about with this new chapter and everything that's up to date with it, because a lot happened. Really,
A lot has happened.
the last like 5 or 6 chapter I think was like, oh my grief, it was like it's a lot. So we're just gonna jump.
I told you. The manga
Yeah.
is amazing.
We're just gonna jump right into that and go ahead and see if we have some fun with that. So let's start off right now. We're gonna go so if you guys are just watching the the anime, there will be lots of spoilers.
Yes.
Absolutely a lot of spoilers because so much happened. And we couldn't just keep talking about the manga because it's just like so
Caught
far
up.
behind. Yeah. So literally once I actually started reading, it took me like 2-3 days to get caught up. But it literally took me 2-3 days to get caught up. I just sit there just reading it all day, like, okay, this one, okay, there we go. But so let's just jump right in. I'm gonna skip around a little bit because that's kind of what I do, my thing. I want to talk about. Let's talk about Endeavor.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
Huge character change.
As you guys might know by now, and I think even the anime shows this too, Endeavor is the new #1 hero. Right?
No, the anime definitely doesn't say that yet. I mean, it's not official in the anime yet.
Okay.
It's kind of the understood thing because the current #1 is gone.
Yeah. So, like I said, lots of spoilers. Endeavor's the new #1.
Yeah.
Endeavor's the new #1 hero.
It's one of those things that's a spoiler, but isn't a spoiler.
Yeah, because everybody kind of expected it to be that way.
Well, because the thing is like, no one's like disputing that he's #2. You know what I mean? And with #1 gone, he is now #1.
True.
So, but in the manga, they just recently had the actual like ceremony to say like, listen, this guy's #1 now, and to redo the hero rankings.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's true.
We have a new number 1 through 10. But Endeavor is obviously the new #1. We actually get a new character.
I want to talk about #2 too.
Yeah,
We'll come back to #2 though.
Please phrase that better. But okay.
Oh, I want to talk about the new #2 hero.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I like him, but like he pisses me off kind of way.
So it's like, let's go back to Endeavor. We'll come back to it because there's a lot to talk about with Hawk. So Endeavor, right? I kind of like what it did and didn't at the same time. So I don't know if it's me, like I'm missing like really, like his character. I think his son explained it best when he was saying that just because you had one feely moment doesn't mean, you know what I mean? Anything?
Yeah, you had one good moment.
Yeah.
One moment where you're actually a human being. Don't expect me to forgive you for it, essentially.
Yeah. And it kind of is like, he literally changed in like 10 chapters. Like we said it before, he's not a bad guy. He's never been a bad person. He's just
he's so obsessed that he was willing to like for bad things to happen as long as he would get what he wanted out of it.
yeah. And then he kind of like said, "Oh, I'm just gonna be this good superhero now that bring peace and hope to people." And even
I think, and a lot of that goes back to, and it's really just a crazy transformational event. All Might being gone. You know what I mean? Like he was perfectly okay with not, with being a D-bag. Like,
so are you saying All Might was his crutch?
No, I'm saying that, well, in a way, but not in like a power kind of way, in like a emotional kind of way. Like he was so focused on All Might that with All Might gone, he had to start figuring out who he actually was.
And he had to figure out what kind of hero he wants to be.
Right, exactly. So with his obsession gone, he had to kind of reframe his entire personality. You know, and it shows even in that conversation he had with All Might, which I thought was incredibly powerful.
Absolutely.
It was so crazy to watch. Like just read that and have him like come to him and be like, "How did you do it? Like I've been trying forever, and I can't do what you do."
Yeah, it's one of those moments, and that's when you kind of know he was gonna start changing to be a better hero, I guess. Like you kind of felt it for that moment, you know. And I know a lot of people can say, "Oh, the manga you can't really get the real feelings," but these artists do a good job of portraying those feelings. So I think you still,
100%.
yeah. So you still get a really good understanding of what's going on, and for a lot of them, I end up don't watching the anime because of it. Because I'm like, you know what I mean? It's like I've seen it. So some of them, certain things is like, okay, I want to go see like All Might versus All for One.
Versus, yeah.
I definitely want. I want definitely.
That was so
Yeah. I definitely wanted to see that fight. So I was like, oh, I'm like, whatever happened, I'm watching the anime for that one because that's something I want to see how that take place.
It was so good. Oh,
yeah.
so good.
So Endeavor went from this straight up jerk character to trying to be the most like saving grace. He's trying to be All Might, right? In his own in his own way, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with it, right? So he's trying to do that right now with himself, trying to go there and trying to figure out how he's gonna do this. And I guess All Might tell him they're doing it for the younger generations.
Pretty much. I can't even explain how All Might did what he did. Like it's actually quite something.
Yeah, All Might whole thing. And if you look, if you look at the way how they train the heroes, the kids, it's pretty much to be like All Might. You know what I mean? Like you look at that training session Midori and the group had when they were telling him, "Oh, he can't try to be a hero with a face like that when he's just so stressed. How people gonna believe in him?" And I'm like, that's just All Might way of doing things. Like they're trying to literally teach them to be All Might.
Which I get in a way because if, in a general heroic sense, if the person that you're supposed to be relying on looks like they're freaking out, how are you going to rely on them?
True, I get it. But I think Stain said it when he said All Might became like a crutch. Somebody said it. All Might became a crutch for all these heroes because they didn't have to be heroes anymore. They just had to believe All Might would be there and he would be there. You know what I mean?
You know, I do think I remember Stain saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know somebody said it. I don't remember who, but I know it was said.
100% true.
So it's kind of one of those things where you're like, okay, so I understand All Might is there and he's all powerful and everything, but is having him off the scene better or worse?
I don't know if you can say better or worse. It's transformative.
Yeah, but it's like
in a weird way, society kind of based itself around him.
Yeah, they did, and that's kind
And with
of yeah.
him gone, yeah, exactly. Like with him gone, things just have to change.
And that's the thing, because it's like he stand as the symbol of justice for so long, even though you had all these other heroes around. It was just All Might. All Might was the guy to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was the guy everybody depend on.
Right, like you can see, because, and it is fairly obvious, that the quality of heroes went down. Like Stain said it.
Yeah.
The longer All Might was there, the less people felt they had to try to be a hero.
Yeah, it became a money game now because people were just like, okay, we don't have to be real heroes. I could just chill and make advertisements and all these stuff. And I think one day hero actually said it, which is kind of twisted to say. Like, you know what I mean? To say, oh yeah, I don't have to really be a hero. I could just, we're just here to make money. And it's kind of one of those things where you're like, are they really heroes? But I think we're getting off track. Let's get back to... That's the wrong one.
Endeavor. We were talking about Endeavor.
Yes, let's get back to Endeavor. So, I don't know, I think, let's get to that fight, right? I'm skipping around a little bit. We're going to come back and talk about Hawk. Because I think we got to talk about Hawk. Like, immediately after meeting Hawk. And guys, this is going to be a big spoiler right here when we start talking about Hawk. Because I know they didn't dwell on it for long. Maybe like a chapter or so. But it's a big spoiler for that chapter. Right?
Oh,
So, Endeavor was the number one hero. And this young kid called Hawk, he literally, his quirk is these wings that he can control.
it's a cool quirk.
Yeah. And he can control each feather and use them individually, which was pretty awesome, actually, to see the way how he used them.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, when I first heard it, I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm feeling that. I was wrong. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, the way he used it was incredible. You're like, okay, then. All right. Featherman. But,
Yes.
but yeah, so he's the number 2 hero, and Endeavor's number 1. You have the ninja guy that we saw. He's number 4, I think. Who's number 3? Or was it ninja guy number 3?
No, I think Best Genius is still number 3.
Okay. Yeah. So like I said, so they went through the entire. We got a new hero lineup, few changes, few people maintained their spots and stuff to that extent. But we got new heroes. But we got a new hero ranking system, which I guess it's needed now because you just lost the pillar of the system, so you gotta re-rank. And Endeavor became the new number 1. So he kind of set off, and I want to say, like a quest to actually live up to that role, which is honorable. I'll give him that much, that he didn't just say, "Oh, I'm number 1, whatever. I'll keep doing what I do." He realized that he's not fitted for the number 1 role, so he went out to try to figure out what it is he could do to help him get there, which I think is pretty honorable of him, to say the least.
I like that he's finally changing. I like it not just for his sake, but for his sons. Well, for all his kids' sakes, really. Because the more we get into Endeavor's transformation, the more they also show his dynamic with his children.
Which sucks.
It sucks. It sucks. But, I mean, it doesn't help that they all know why he had them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which something is, I don't know if we've discussed this before.
I don't think we have.
Series, but so original, we'll call him Original Endeavor, was so obsessed with defeating All Might that he started, he basically got married and had kids specifically to mix his quirk with someone who could kill All Might.
Yeah, so and I think they explained this chapter kind of explain why. So his quirk is fire, but it has a limit. So if you use it too much, he heats up too much, and that causes issues for him. He's unable to fight after a while because of that. So he wanted to create a protege that will not have that same issue. And so he he found somebody who had an ice quirk, and he was trying to have a child who had both ice and fire, which he eventually ended up having.
Right.
Right?
Sure.
Yeah. So he has ice and fire, but she hates him. So, like for the most of the series, he refused to use his fire half.
Right.
And I think now he's starting to use it a little more, but he's still pretty hesitant about it. But he's getting there.
Well, he's still his fire and his dad, like they're just related to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got them linked in his mind. Which I mean, I completely understand.
Yeah.
So,
No, I get it. Like I get what he's doing and why he's that way. Oh,
Yeah.
great! I trapped myself in here. Like.
No, I'm a little screwed on.
We both put us in bad positions in the games. We're just playing, like, talking really short. Yeah, I need
So, yeah,
Okay.
I don't think that's like a lot of Shoto's character development there. It's like him getting over what his father did.
Yeah. And he seemed to be a little bit more forgiving than his older brother. His older brother absolutely hates his dad. I mean, like, straight up.
Oh, yeah, straight up like near bloodlust levels. Like,
Yeah.
he hates his father, which again is understandable. Like, if you think it was hard for our Shoto, what do you think about his children who are essentially
Failures?
the ones left behind? Yeah, the ones that were considered failures by others.
True.
Because he kept having kids until he found one, until one came about that had
The quirks he
answer
needed.
to his failures, yeah. And that was Shoto. And Shoto, I think, is actually the third kid, not, the only. So he has an older sister and an older brother. And his older brother actually was saying in a recent chapter, he's like, I never even got to hang out with my little brother. Like, I don't even know him.
Yeah.
And that's because he isolated him from us. Like, he kept him away from us. So this entire dysfunctional family is because of Endeavor. Like, I'm not trying to justify the things that he's done. But I do think that people can change, and he is doing so.
I'll give him A for effort.
Yeah,
He's
don't get
trying.
me wrong. He's got a lot to fix. He's got a lot to fix.
Yeah, he's trying. And I'll give him that. He's really trying hard to change a lot of those stuff. And so, let's talk about the fight. The fight that he had, he ended up fighting one of those no moves. But they're like, this one was like more intelligent, I guess?
Well, okay, so he fought what we call a no move, which is, for those of you who, well, I mean, everybody should know what a no move is by now. Basically a genetic experiment. But what's surprising about this is that at this point, All for One is already in jail. So we're kind of like a little confused as to how there can be a no move. There's a possibility that he was made before All for One went to jail. Or there's the possibility that the League of Villains has learned to make no moves even without All for One, which is a very disturbing possibility.
I'm thinking like All for One is in jail, yeah, but it's more like being in jail where, like you see this movie, the mob boss in jail instead of running their business.
Yeah, I could see that. I wouldn't put it past him.
So I'm thinking like, even though he's in jail, okay, but so what? Like I think he could get out easily if he wanted to. Because nobody knows how much quirks he has, what type of quirks he has. You know what I mean?
True.
He could be using like a doppelganger quirk or something like that to just make it look like he's there. It's like there's so much he could be doing that will not be like, he could literally not be anywhere near that prison.
That's a fair point.
So yeah, so they made this no more, right? And apparently the way it seems like All All Might tends to fight till the end, regardless of the situation. Like, you know what I mean? Saving everybody is his thing. But Endeavor, if he can't win, he don't fight, it seems. At least that's what his kid said. His kid was saying, why didn't he just run like he normally do? Right? If he knows he's hopeless, why didn't he just leave? And
Right.
this no move, I mean, trashed him. This thing had to be at least an All Might level.
I don't think it's on All Might's level. Because if it was on All Might's level, Endeavor couldn't have won. Which he did eventually.
Yeah, but that's one of those like
Because you gotta remember, the gap between All Might and Endeavor was huge. Like, to the point where even Endeavor had essentially given up trying.
Hey King, welcome to the stream. We're talking about this anime called My Hero Academia. So I have a friend of mine, Kenton, 2000 the other line. We're just going over the anime and talking about some of the points in it. So far we're talking about Endeavor. We've been stuck in Endeavor for a little bit. I don't know if you're up to date on it, but yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, there's just so much to unpack with this anime about every topic you talk about. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much involved. It's all tied together. It's just a very well done series to me. But yeah, going back to Endeavor and the Black Nomu, there's an entire like world of range between Endeavor and All Might, and so you can be stronger than Endeavor and still not be as strong as All Might.
True. Hold on one sec. Yeah, King. I'm a moderator on Live for Gaming channel. I have my own channel that I do a lot of my own stuff on too. Right now I'm playing Minecraft. I've been playing Minecraft for a while now, on this channel at least. And every other Saturday we do an anime talk. We got like 4 to 5 different animes. We've done a bunch already so far. So hey, like I said, come join us, join the conversation and help us out. While talking to Emmy, what are you trying to make? I'm trying to make a tree farm right now. I need spruce wood? No, I need dark oak. Lots of dark oak. So I'm trying this out to see if I can make dark oak with this. So you see, it's like 4 deep, so I can put the dark oak on it and then give it a little space. Because I need lots of dark oak. Lots of it. But I'm trying to make a tree farm. It's a little big, but I'm playing with it still. Yes. So yeah, Ken, like you were saying. So the difference between All Might and All Might level, Endeavor level, it's huge. Because yeah, Endeavor did give up on that. Like, and they actually said it in this, I think the last couple manga chapters, they actually say that, he pretty much gave up on.
Yeah. He said himself, he was like, there's no closing that gap. So it's just so much involved there. But yeah, the fact that the Black Nomu is decidedly stronger than him does not necessarily put the Black Nomu on All Might's level. So I would be a little hesitant to say that.
So it's kind of one of those things where I'm thinking like, it might not be as strong as All Might, but so it's kind of one of those things where, and I think All Might has that main character cheat where their power level is not like, it's not static. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where you're like, oh, All Might is the strongest, but not always. He just always keeps fighting until he becomes, you know what I mean?
I mean, in all fairness, he's got like 8 generations worth of power behind him, and now Deku has 9 generations, so technically he's probably the only one who could become stronger than All Might.
We gotta talk about that too. But let's get back to Hawk for a minute.
Oh, the recent chapters, yes.
Yes.
Oh, tell me that would have.
Yes. We gotta talk about that, but we gotta talk about that.
Okay, yeah, so let's start with the Black Nomu. So, yeah, Black Nomu, eventually gets beaten by Endeavor.
Yeah.
But Endeavor is beaten to a bloody pulp in the process. Um, and so it doesn't look good. It
Yeah.
doesn't look good. He's not saving people flawlessly the way All Might did, and so the public didn't really handle it very well. But then there's this one kid who just starts screaming out like, "What the hell is wrong with all of you people? Like, yeah, maybe it wasn't pretty, but he just put his life in the line for us. So maybe a thank you would be nice."
Yeah. Yeah, that kid, man, the real MVP.
That kid changed he changed the whole flow of that whole thing. And I'm glad that they like put him on the news and everything.
Yeah. He.
Okay. Yeah. So, which I think is also good because it kind of it's one more example of the way All Might changed society, and society. It's so fun because you can even like talk about society's like bad habits in real life with that moment. It's like like when things start happening in a good way, eventually people just kind of start expecting that, and then from expecting it they start demanding it.
Yeah.
Which is bad. Bad.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened because they were expecting him to for he to be like All Might. And the only difference is All Might didn't get beat up a lot. All Might got beat up a lot. He just didn't show it as much as Endeavor did. Right? And because if you look even his last fight, he got trashed. That fight forced him to retire. Right? But at the end, but in the end, what did he do? He put his hand up, he put a sign up to show, no matter what, we're still going to be doing this,
Like, I'm still out here.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to quit on you. Which, Endeavor eventually copied at the end of his fight with the Black Man.
Yeah. He's like, no, it's my left hand, not my right. I was like, okay, sure. I think All Might's right-handed, so when Hawk was like, I can't believe you just did it an All Might pose, he's like, no, it was the other hand.
I think it goes to show that Endeavor understands the seriousness of a symbol.
Yes.
Which to me makes sense because no one's been watching him. No one's been watching All Might closer than Endeavor. No one.
True. That's usually, that whole rival thing tends to be the person who knows you the best.
Yeah.
And I think that's absolutely true. I think Endeavor is he knows what's going on a little bit more in a lot of ways because he's been following All Might forever.
Right.
And I don't want to use the word and I don't want to use the word following so lightly. But he's been keeping up. He's been learning what, you know what I mean? His goal has always been to defeat All Might. And that's why when All Might lost, he was ticked. You know what I mean? Because I think even though he said he gave up, I don't think he truly gave up. And to have that stolen from him,
he was, oh my god, he was so pissed. He was like, what the hell is going on with you right now?
Yeah.
Like, get it together. Get in the fight. That was a key moment. That was a key moment.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that All Might would have gotten up without that moment.
Yeah. I think All Might really, he was struggling.
Listen, man, like, I know a lot of people, All Might, great, he's powerful, but this is freaking the guy.
It's been doing this for 9 generations.
Like, he's immortal. He's immortal. Like, do you understand how powerful you have to be to go up against an immortal who also has, like, 150 million other superpowers?
Yeah. It's been going on for a while.
Insane. And every generation has been doing this.
And they haven't been able to put this guy down.
Which is crazy.
So let's talk about Hawk real fast before we get sidetracked. So the moment I saw Hawk, I was like, I don't trust this guy. Like I didn't think they would explain it right away. So I actually wrote it down. I put don't trust Hawk. And then they actually went 2 episodes and I'm like, oh yeah, Okay, now I see why I don't trust him. But Hawk is playing.
Double agent
Yeah,
or triple agent.
yeah. I think it is more like Triple Agent, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hawk is playing Triple Agent right now, where he's just like he's trying to get stuff done and not really the same thing. He's trying like he's playing the role of a hero.
Okay, so all right, so the government is basically asking him to infiltrate the League of Villains. That's what's happening.
Yeah,
So he has to pretend to want to defect to the League of Villains.
true.
That's basically
Yeah, that's what's going on. But I don't know, man.
and
Hawk
so-
just he just rubbed me wrong though from the beginning.
Which me too, because like he had that kind of like, this is easy kind of attitude.
Yeah,
It really pissed
yeah.
me off. Especially in a world like Boku no Hero, where everybody's just giving their all, and you have this one dude who's in here like, meh. So yeah, it didn't sit well with me. But now I kind of understand him a little better.
Yeah, I get what's going on now, but the moment like that whole talk with him, he's singing, I was like, I don't trust this guy even a little bit. Like, you know, it's just like one of those things where you're like, no, don't trust you, dude. I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%.
So I was watching this guy like, okay, I don't something is up with this guy. What is it? And then when the Nomu attack, I'm like, is that what it is? Is he with the league? So I was like, I was already predicting, you know what I mean? Predicting that even before they show us it. Where he's,
Which I did too,
yeah,
because I was like, this is a little too convenient.
right. So I was like, okay, he's with the league. Interesting. And let's talk the league. I don't know what is. I think that's what they were saying because, by having One for All in prison, the league is supposed to grow on their own now,
Right.
right? And it's supposed to become something a little bit more mature,
Right.
which is kind of interesting because I was like, because what's his name? The rot guy, whatever his name is,
The Rock guy?
the head of the league.
Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember his name to save my life now.
Yeah. But he's like he's immature in a lot of ways, right? And
Yeah. You can tell he's growing.
Yeah.
He is growing.
yes. And One for All wanted to have this, like him not being on the scene, to be something that, seriously, stop creating source blocks. Yep, it created a ton of source blocks. He wanted to have him not being in the scene to be like this triggering event for him, and it seems to be working, which is ridiculous. Like, not ridiculous that it's working, but it's working so well. You know what I mean?
It's working too well. Like he's learning at a really disturbingly quick rate.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's not how that's supposed to work anywhere. But he's making alliances, breaking alliances, and just doing a bunch of different stuff with everything else. Ridiculously, I think he's learning faster than the heroes are.
A little bit, because he kind of started behind,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. I absolutely agree. I think he was way too immature in the beginning,
Right.
but quickly he matured and caught up with that too, and got to the point where he's able to actually run a league.
Yeah, it's a little scary because it tells you like this is going to get worse.
Yes, a lot worse. Which kind of makes you feel bad for Midori because you're like, I don't know. Like, Midori's still a little immature too in his own way, I would say. He's not.
Yeah, I do think at this point in time he's still a little too sheltered.
Yeah.
Like what they kind of need to do, and I hate to make this reference because I never wanted to be a Harry Potter fan, but what they need to do is kind of give him like a Half-Blood Prince scenario where he has to leave Hogwarts. Because that's what happens at the end of the 6th book, and I felt like that was a huge like turning point for him. Even though it was literally just like the last two movies after that. I just felt
Hmm.
like that was a huge turning point. Like he had to leave the safety of Hogwarts because Hogwarts wasn't safe anymore. And so I do think that something similar is happening a little bit with Boku no Hero Academia. Like they're slowly showing, event by event, that you can't really trust UA uh, to fix things. You can't really trust UA to keep these kids safe. The kids are going to have to keep themselves safe.
Yeah, and UA has a traitor.
Yeah, that's another thing is that we haven't really like discussed that yet. There's got to be a traitor in the ranks.
It could be that girl.
You mean Midnight?
No, no. The league has a girl that could transform into anybody.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The crazy, I like to cut everybody girl.
Yeah.
The one who's in love with Midori and Stain.
Is she in love with Midoriya? Like,
She has
oh
a,
yeah,
yeah, she has a fascination with Midori. That's ridiculous.
it's a little creepy.
Yeah,
Just cut it out.
pretty much. Pretty much. Just, chill a little bit. She's just like, okay then. She's like, oh, I love him. I want to cut him up. But yeah, so you have right now Endeavor being the number one hero. Let's talk about what's that girl name too? Um, with the reverse time power thingy.
Or reverse time power thing.
The girl who could turn back like
Oh yes. Okay, so, okay, let's just do a little backtracking. Anime wise, the provisional license exam is about halfway done. Part one is over. Part two is going to be, well, you guys will see. Well, actually, no. Since we already, yeah, since we've already admitted that we're going to be saying spoilers. Spoiler alert. I'm about to say who fails the exam, and yes, people fail. So, the only two people in our cast of main characters who fail are Bakugo and Todoroki, which is a little surprising to everyone because they're like, the aces of the class.
yeah, they're even higher than they're technically ranked higher than Midori in a lot of ways.
Well, Midoriya isn't really ranked high, and that's the funny thing about Midoriya is that it's not his ranking that people believe in. It's just kind of his personality.
Yeah, but he's at least ranked fourth or fifth in school. Isn't he in his class?
I don't think so, to be honest.
Cause when they did the that whole sports festival thing, he was third. Didn't he come in third?
No, he lost in the second round. I'm pretty sure he was like 8th place or something.
Sure. I think he came
Yeah,
in.
the person who came in third was oh god, what's his name? The bird guy.
Oh yes, he is another OP character.
I love him. He's like, I mean, not to be a little on the nose with it, but he's kind of like the dark horse of the class in my mind.
Yeah, he's really OP. He seems to have he could be a real pain if he tries hard. Not even try hard, but just being this because of his powers. He could be a real pain if he wanted to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's kind of one of those things where you're looking at okay then, dude. Because they showed right now, when he loses control, none of the other students can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, there's very few people that can kind of tame his dark shadow when it loses control. Oof, man, I got a problem. But he's the one who came in third. Let's go back to the provisional license exam. So Bakugo and Todoroki fail, everybody else passes. Then we get into the internships.
Mm-hmm.
And that is when Midoriya meets, well, the guy who used to be All Might's sidekick.
Yeah, and he met his future All Might original successor.
this was the guy who both UA and All Might's sidekick, whose name is Night Eye, um, had picked to be All Might's successor.
Yeah. So
So
this guy,
this guy, he's wow, this guy's a beast. Um,
and he
and
portrays
it's
All Might almost ideally. He really does.
yeah, he really does. Um, he calls himself the Lemillion, so
Yeah.
we'll be using that name
Because
from
he
now
wants.
on. But
You want to say why? Or you want to let him figure out on his own?
no, that's not a big deal. He just wants to save a million people. He doesn't think that he can save everybody right now, but a million would be nice.
Yeah.
So, um, I'm sorry, I'm having two conversations right now, one from the other side of the house.
So yeah. So so Night. He's working with Night Eye, right? As an intern right now, and Night Eye, like I said, was All Might's psychic. Night Eye has an OP power that he's kind of afraid.
So his power, if he's looking at you, he can see into the future, like of you,
Yeah.
which is just so OP.
But he's afraid. He's afraid of it.
He's not afraid of it. He's just mad at what he saw.
But it's like it's one of those things where like he could see. Okay, so his power is pretty much foresight, right? Of who he's looking at,
Right.
and he. Again, this is a big point. The whole thing that's gonna be. This is gonna be a spoiler. One of the things he saw with his story is All Might dying. Like that's the reason why they split up, because he wanted to try and save All Might, and he
All
could.
Might was just like, nah.
Yeah. All Might was like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? It's what it is. And so that's why he and All Might part ways, because they had that difference of opinion. He wants to find a way to save All Might, but I think in him doing all what he's doing though, he came to the same realization that he can't go against his power. Like he came to this whole thing where his power is absolute, and that's that. Which I thought was kind of like, sad in a way, because it created this fear for his own power, where he didn't want to use it because he's afraid to see something he can't change.
Well, I guess. But at the same time, the future was going to change regardless. Like, the future was going to happen regardless of whether or not he saw it.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. He didn't. If you look at the whole fight when they're trying to save the girl, he didn't want to go and do it because he was afraid. I messed this up, So he didn't want to use, and even the guy, what is it? The guy with the dreads, the hero with the dreads, told him like, just use your power and tell us where they are, so we could get it done. And he was like, no.
That guy was a little douchebag, though.
But he was right though.
I mean, in that one instance, but like, it's just in general, he pisses me off.
I think he was right, so it's kind of one of those situations like, he might be a jerk, but he's a right jerk, and he's like, okay.
Nah, I don't like him.
No?
I just don't like him. He really did piss me off.
Yeah,
He had a bad attitude from the start.
Yeah, he did come off a little jerky, and he kind of had this stuck up way about him. Even the way he looked at the students, stuff like that, he saw them no more as burdens and stuff like that. But like I said though, my thing is, I think he called out Night Owl, what's his name?
Night Eye.
On his fault with that, and like, you have this OP power. Why are we running around this place? It's so much, confusion.
Right.
And Night Eye didn't want to do it because he was afraid. He was just scared to go ahead, and he was afraid of seeing. He has what?
He still has limitations. he can't just like open his eyes and see the future of everything. Like he has to be looking at the thing he's scrying essentially.
Yeah, and I think was it the I don't remember the guy's name. The guy we dread. I really don't remember his name. I wish I did.
He wasn't that one.
I don't know. I think he played a really decent role throughout the whole arc.
Yeah.
But yeah, but he was telling him, listen, just use it on me. You know what I mean? And I plan to go to this guy anyway. Skip the process of us looking and tell me where the guy is. And Nighttime was huh?
I don't know. You keep saying he's afraid, but I don't know. I don't register. I don't remember there being a lot of fear there.
He didn't want to see because, like I said, he told him if he see it, whatever he see always comes true. So he didn't want to look at him and see his death. And that's what he's afraid of. So I think eventually he ended up looking at himself, I believe it was. And
I don't even think I'm sorry.
so he ended up looking at someone. I don't remember who it was he looked at, but he did see something. And that's how they actually found out where they were. And he had whole plans in place and everything like that to fix all that. Because remember when Midori was fighting, I don't know his name, the guy with the, what's his name?
The main guy? The main guy?
Yeah.
Oh god, I think his name was like Chisaki or something like that.
Yeah. Who is a Yakuza, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Basically, they're Yakuza with powers.
Yeah.
Although they call themselves the 8 Precepts of Death.
Yeah. Midori is fighting him, and they were kind of wondering how less people got hurt. And Nighttime kind of arranged that. He had heroes, you know what I mean, in the area already, cleaning up places and making sure everybody's okay. And that's because he uses powers to see how this is gonna go over. And I think he was saying something that Midori could change his vision.
No, he believed that nothing could change his vision. It was Midoriya that said that he would.
No, but I think
he was shocked that Midoriya actually pulled it off.
Yeah, because somebody else was supposed to die in this thing, and
Midoriya was supposed to die.
that's what it was, right?
Midoriya was supposed to die fighting Chisaki.
And he was like, "Nope, I'm not today, son," and stay alive.
Was like, nope, I don't know if you know this, but I have this thing called the main character cheat.
Right?
And I'm gonna use it right about now, yeah.
Yeah. Main character cheat code right here. Let's plug this number in, and we're good to go. And
Like,
he,
no, I got this.
and he did pretty well, actually. I think that was a really cool fight. But Midori only did it because.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, Midori only pulled it off because of the girl whose ability is essentially to rewind things.
Yes.
So basically, he went 100%. He would hit something, and because she couldn't control her quirk, she was just constantly rewinding him. And so he was able to go 100% the entire fight, and she just clung to his back and constantly rewound the damage.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where he was almost she was almost rewinding too much. She was almost rewinding faster than he could, like, hurt himself.
Yeah. And I think that's what saved him too, because this guy's power was literally to destroy and recreate.
Yeah, his power is crazy. Has a crazy ability, the ability to take something apart and put it together the way you choose. That is insane. To the point where he literally took apart one of his comrades and put it together with himself. That's dangerous.
Yeah, that guy, he is by far one of those OP characters. And could you imagine if All For One get his hand on that?
Oh man, oh god, oh no.
Because I don't think he's not dead, right?
He's not dead, he's in jail.
Yeah.
And I do think though and I just random theory moment, but I do think that his ultimate goal is to give All For One to Shigaraki.
Oh, you think so?
I think so, because he seems very focused on moving on to the next generation, like just letting Shigaraki do his thing now. I think that if he didn't have like his whole head scarred, that he probably would have stuck with it and been like, no, it's still my time. But because he knows like his time is essentially over, he's just like, nah, I'll give up. And
My
I'll
thing is,
pass it on to this kid.
could he possibly heal himself?
No, he can't. They had discussed that already.
I don't remember.
He can't. Yeah, so he has a quirk called Super Regeneration, which basically heals all that jazz. However, it can't. It's almost like health insurance in that pre-existing conditions you're just kind of screwed.
Okay.
And so he got it after his fight with All Might and after he got all those injuries.
But that kid though.
What kid? Oh, the rewinding girl?
Yeah.
You think the rewinding girl could rewind his time? Maybe.
If he get his hand on, and even if he gets his hand as he break down and put apart, he could heal himself, can't he?
He could probably reshape himself, yeah.
Yeah. I think either one of those, he gets hand on either one of those two, and he becomes even OP'er than he is.
You cannot let him have an ability like that. Absolutely cannot. But he's in jail right now, so I think that he's intentionally off the scene.
Yeah, yeah. But that's the thing, though. He could be just doing that right now so he could acquire more power, like just chilling in jail. You know what I mean? And slowly.
But he's not acquiring more power, and that's the thing. He's just kind of sitting there.
Yeah, but they haven't really. We don't know what his plan is. He's just literally just chilling in jail.
Well, I don't think it's his plan anymore. I think that's the whole point. Is that he's moving? He's passing on. He's passing the buck. It's not his show anymore.
Yeah, but I don't think he's that kind of person, though. You know what I mean?
Again, that has to do with the fact that his face is ruined.
So that's my thing, though. He's only doing. He's willing to pass on because he doesn't feel he have any other path.
Right, but Chisaki's dead. He can't reshape because Shigaraki killed him.
Shigaraki. I don't know who Shigaraki is.
Rot guy, poison.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Shigaraki killed him after they had him arrested.
True. But they still got the little girl.
There's no guarantee that'll rewind in that way. I mean, we don't even quite understand how her quirk works. We just know the results of it.
True. But I think she could be one of the most OP characters this show has. I think she is the most OP character this show has.
So she's extra dangerous, because they're still trying to figure out what her quirk does, and if it's even possible to control it. And so if they can figure that out, they can get, and this is another issue that we're dealing with here, they can get Lemillion his quirk back. Because the way this all started was that the 8 Precepts of Death developed a bullet that can take away a person's quirk permanently. And so they were going to rescue the girl from the 8 Precepts of Death, and Lemillion gets hit by the bullet. So his quirk is gone.
Yep, the next Rising Star lost his quirk, and we had Nightai, who was his teacher, kick the bucket.
Nightai didn't die.
Yeah, he did.
I don't remember Nightai dying.
At least that's what they alluded to. When he was in the hospital with them.
Huh.
Pretty sure he died.
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah, because I'm like, that was a really tough moment for me. Because I'm like, I can't believe they just killed him off like that.
No, you're right. You're right. I
Yeah,
just
because
forgot.
yeah, that was. I'm like, what? I really did not see them killing him off. I did not think Night Eye was gonna be killed like that. He, you know what I mean? I thought he was gonna be like a second teacher to Midori.
I can see how you could think that.
Because if you look at when he was, that the few moments that he and Midori had, he kind of taught Midori how to, like, you know what I mean, to be more aware of his fight, his surroundings.
Right.
And that was his thing. That's what he was trying to teach Midori. Hey, be a little more aware of your surroundings. Don't just go around causing havoc. Which is kind of Midori's MO.
Not necessarily, because like Midoriya was being very careful of his surroundings, even when they met. He was like, if you can learn to hit on me in 5 minutes, we're good. Like, you can join. And Midoriya took care to do all that fighting and not touch a single piece of All Might fan, stuff.
True. True. Okay.
He does pay attention to his surroundings. I think that people underestimate him because he's a student, but he's surprisingly diligent.
Yeah. I think in the entire group, he's kind of the group thinker. In a weird way. He's the strategic body of the group. You have Explosion and Fire Ice guy who are the main guns. Yeah. And then you have Midori who's a little bit more calm and a little bit more productive? Not a better word? Not productive, but like more reasonable. Like he,
okay, yeah, I can see that.
Because if you look at it, even like almost all the students have a respect for Midori.
Yeah, at this point in time, yeah.
Yeah, they all do. And so it's kind of like one of those things where they've already among themselves recognized, hey, this guy has something. You know what I mean? Something special.
There's something about him. He does inspire me.
You have even like the class president who was just like, you know what I mean, who's a little bit more strict in the way he do stuff, but he's a little bit more patient with Midori in a weird way, I want to say. Like he's more, he'll break his rules a little bit and Midori has a better idea that can work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's willing to give Midoriya a chance because Midoriya has come through before.
Yeah. Because if you look at, like, for example, when they went to save Bakudo, he was totally against it. Until Midori was like, dude, I'm a genius. I got an idea. Don't worry about it. I got this. And he was like, okay, if you got it, then sure. Let's do it. And that's how they went on. And Midori do come up with a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? I guess he spent his whole life just watching heroes and thinking about them all day, so he just
I don't think anyone has spent more time like evaluating heroes' weaknesses and whatnot, so coming up with plans that make good use of everybody's abilities is kind of his specialty.
Yeah, I think that's it. And he's just like, he's very strategic in the way he does stuff.
100%.
So that's a good thing. The heck is that sound? Because he's able to better utilize his team, and he's slowly starting to learn how to utilize his powers better, which is kind of cool. Because we saw a little fight he had with the two most useless villains we've seen so far.
I love them though.
But they're
so much fun.
Their whole purpose was to show off Midori's new gear. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know that, but still. Like, I love them. They're awesome. Plus, okay, tell me Homeboy did not turn a useless quirk into an absolute beast combat skill.
He did, I'll give him that. His, was it rubber? What do you mean? Luffy does it every day.
No, not rubber. He turns it into like bouncy kind
Bouncing,
of.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, Luffy does it all day, man. I don't know what you're trying to say.
Like Luffy, I don't know. Anyway, we're not even going to discuss One Piece right now. It's a long anime. So
Yeah.
yeah, like that fight was so crazy cool.
Yeah, that fight was not give it that. It was really
Yes, yes,
a really interesting
and
fight to watch.
absolutely, and yes, you're right. It did only serve to point out Midoriya's growth and his new gear, which, for those of you who don't know, Midoriya goes on after the issue with the 8 precepts of death. Midoriya goes on to realize that he needs a ranged attack in order to kind of round out his ability, and so he was thinking that maybe he could learn to flick his finger and focus the air as some kind of like an air cannon, and so he got his gear upgraded by Crazy Chick, and now he has gloves that really just kind of focus that energy, that airflow, and
Well,
so
I think
it turned into a decent ranged move.
he didn't realize on his own. All Might kind of guide him.
That I don't remember, but probably.
When they were in the forest, All Might was like, "Oh yeah, use full 20% and show him that he could actually cut air pressure."
Yes.
So that's All Might. He did nothing with that. But no, but even All Might was saying because he tried that too, but I guess times were different.
Yeah. Times were different. We just kind of had to make do
With what he had.
But things are better now.
So yeah, so Midori do have better tech on his side, which is always nice to have. You know, who don't want to have better tech, right? So Midori's actually able to do a few things that All Might couldn't do in that way, because All Might didn't have any range attacks. Well, he didn't have any like. I guess he could have done like air punches and cut the air with this, you know what I mean? His super awesome strength and stuff like that, but he had no real like range attacks.
Yeah. If he did a range attack, it was just him punching so hard that the air pressure went wildly in that direction.
Yeah.
You know, this is like a focused, calm move that Midoriya has.
Yes.
It's good for precision situations. But anyway, so that's a very short arc, but it's such a good fight, and I really loved it. And just getting into like those two villains' stories, like I felt bad for them.
Yeah, I kind of wanted them to get away.
Right, me too. Like I wanted them to get away.
Yeah, I wanted them to get away. I'm like, just get away. Let's be done. Let's just run. Don't stay there.
It hurt to watch them. It hurt to watch them because of like everything like you realize that they've been through.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Yeah, it was tough, and you're looking like, oh, that sucks. Why, you know? But it was, I think they were nice little filling characters because that's pretty much a filler, right?
Yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any manga. So that's a filler arc they put in there, you know, to make us feel a little better.
It was in the manga.
Really? No, you're right. Cause that's where I saw it.
Yeah, that was only in the manga. That's well ahead of
the anime.
The anime. Yeah. The 8 Precepts of Death is the next arc for the anime. That won't
True.
be coming out a little bit. Because they still have to finish the provisional exam, and then that'll probably be the end of this season of My Hero Academia, and then we'll start with the 8 Precepts of Death when they come back from break.
Yeah, I think that's true. Cause the 8 precept and going forward, I think is a really big important. Like it feels it should be more important than it was. I don't misunderstand it was important, but it feels like it should have more role to play. You know what I mean?
Well, I think a lot of what made it important is the fact that it's like the first real post All Might arc.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because in this one, All Might is just a bystander, pretty much.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there are villains, but All Might's not coming to save anybody. So, it's kind of a shame, but, you know, it's bound to happen eventually.
Yeah, I think it will happen. I think, and like I said, I think that's what's going on right now with that. I guess yeah, that did play more of a role than I thought it did, to kind of showcase. I
Yeah,
guess some of the
what the world is like. Because you're
yeah,
seeing all of these actions get emboldened by the fact that All Might is gone.
yeah, yeah. Everybody seems to be much more willing to do stuff now.
Yeah. Way more factions are willing to make moves that they just weren't making before.
Yeah, which is kind of, which tells you, because like I think Endeavor even said it. He was like, "I am still here, and villains just don't care."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like, "I've made no dent in this entire thing." He was like, "Because All Might left, and all the villains just came out of the woodwork."
Yep.
I think crime went up and everything like that, and he was just like, "Yeah, what have I been doing all these years?" And I think that's what triggered his change. He realized what he'd been doing wasn't working.
Well, yeah, because he even had a conversation with All Might. He was like, I, he's like, I can't even describe it with words, but I can feel that something that you built up over all these years slipping away. It's like, so how do I do it? How did you do it? And how can I do that too?
Yeah.
And that was a really, again, you know, going back to the original topic of Endeavor, that was a really powerful moment.
And I think this whole right now, you had the last one or two thing that's focused on the kids. I think this,
Yeah, which this is nice. Yeah, to expand the roster. So
yeah, and this is focused on Endeavor, a character who once you first meet, you're like, this guy is a tool. Why do we have to see him? You know what I mean? But as right now, at least, they're showing growth in him, which is an interesting thing to see. Because like, you know, Endeavor comes off as this really big jerk, and you're like, yeah, that's kind of who he is. He's Endeavor, right? It's kind of like what you see is what you get.
yeah, pretty much.
But it seems like he's trying. He really is trying. He's just really bad at trying. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but yeah, he's because you had the scene where he was trying to be friendly with the kid, and the kid was like, "Dude, what are you doing? This is not Endeavor." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is not who you are. Be who you are. Don't try to be somebody else. And so I guess he got to figure out what kind of hero he wants to be, and I think he looked like he wants to be a kind of an what do you call it?
He changed his suit to be a little more impressive.
Yeah, yeah, he did. That's true. But I don't know. I'm intrigued to see how he does and where things go for. You know what I mean? See how his character develops.
He's maybe the character I'm most invested in right this moment.
True.
Just because I feel like a lot hinges on his transformation.
Yeah, I think so too. I think a lot do depend on how he come out as a character.
Right. So, with that being discussed, now I want to talk about the thing that I've wanted to talk to you about since those chapters came out, but we decided that we would save it for this talk.
Okay.
Midoriya's dream.
Yes. So the last
That was so crazy.
the last chapter we saw, right, was when the nine power users, the 9 All for One users,
Right.
showed up in Midori's dream to kind of show him the legacy, how they got where they are, what is what, and stuff to that extent. And oh crud, that didn't work. This is working well for me at all. This is
So,
cool.
um, it was really cool because this something similar had happened to Midoriya before at the sports tournament,
Yes.
and he brought it up to All Might, and All Might had said that it really wasn't like much of anything, that it just happens sometimes, and that it's probably not going to go further than that.
Yeah.
And this definitively proved him wrong.
Yeah, it does actually. It really does. But I think that's just because once he learned to use 20% of his power now, he could actually communicate with him, I guess.
Maybe. My thing is that either it's okay. So All Might being wrong means that either All Might was wrong, like just flat out wrong, and did not have this kind of connection to All for One, or he lied. Those are the only two options.
As far as we know, he hasn't lied to Midori yet, right?
Right. But he could have lied to keep it from him. Like, maybe it was the kind of thing he just didn't want to tell his student? I don't know.
Well, he did explain to him what happened and how they got to where they are.
True. And that's the thing, is like, well, why keep this? So, to me, I think
he did. I'm thinking maybe he didn't realize Midori was that far advanced. Or that well.
But he would have known, though. But that's the thing, is like, you know, like, not only has he been through this, or we would assume he's been through this, but he's also seen the other 8 people who've been through this before him.
But it could be something in a situation where Midori is just more compatible.
Which is kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Midoriya might have a connection to All for One, to One for All, that All Might just didn't.
So he's
I was gonna say, when you see that kind of thing, it speaks to him gaining powers that All might not have been able to access. Because the spirit of the first that resides inside One for All, like, flat out communicated with him. That's insane.
And it's kind of one of those things where you're looking like, okay, I think he did something to Midori too.
I think so, right? Like, I don't remember exactly, but something happened.
Yeah, something happened, and I don't know what it is, and I would like to know what it is like now, because when Midori woke up and his power was activated, for one, right, and he was trashing around his room, I guess.
Yeah, and there's Aoyama that found it.
Yeah. So something
Aoyama, that stalker bastard.
Dude, what is up with that?
It's creepy.
Like, I'm watching this like, what on earth is going on here?
Like, that was the creepiest chapter.
And is it just like he just trying to be friends with him? I was like, what? I'm like, dude, making it biscuits and cheese and stuff like that. I'm like, this is just weird on every level I could think of. Like, if it's one of those things where you're watching, like, what? Why am I watching this?
It's like just sneaking outside his window.
Yeah, it was just one of those things you're like, this guy is just weird. And you're trying to figure out, like, why is he so weird? Because he's been portraying this whole rich kid thing going on. This height, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they explain a little bit of it later. Like, they don't explain why he's so weird about it, but they explain why he's a little obsessed with Midoriya.
The whole group is obsessed with Midoriya. It's ridiculous.
So, basically, he feels a kind of kinship with Midoriya because Midoriya's quirk hurts his body, and so does Aoyama's.
Yeah.
And so he just kind of feels like they're the same. I mean, they're not the same, but they're kind of the same. Because, like, you know what it's like when your quirk hurts you.
Yeah, okay, he's giving him a tummy ache all the time. He's like, I was like,
maybe some bad nausea. If he holds it, I think it's like for more than 5 seconds.
I was thinking about his quirk, and his quirk is kind of useless.
It's funny, and it's not entirely useless. I mean, it's a laser
He makes a
beam.
great disco ball.
Laser beams are never 100% useless, but as far as like,
maybe
no,
if you could figure out he could use it better, because the way he uses it right now screams of being useless.
oh, absolutely. I think that he's more focused on the pain than anything else, but it's a laser beam. It's a laser beam.
I don't know, man. If your laser beam is not really that good, or if you're not that good with your laser.
Yeah, yeah. And I know this, but like, oh, I think he's got a little something there.
I don't know. It's like some of them kind of worry me a little bit as far as hero goes. I know you and I spoke about it a little before, with like the Invisible Girl and stuff like that. A lot of these characters seem to be just gag characters.
A little bit. Oh. Okay, so we didn't. Oh, good. The enemies are moving against each other. That's what I'm waiting for. So something I didn't mention. We spoke about this just before the stream started.
Yeah.
But I haven't been able to mention it yet this series. Something happened in the anime episode that showed this morning on Hulu that hasn't even happened in the manga, and the implications of it are actually pretty cool. So we got to the part of the first half of the provisional license exam where you get to the very end, right? And Aoyama decides that he's almost failed out anyway, and he's just going to sacrifice himself so that his classmate can get a few points and pass. He feels like that's the best thing he can do right now.
Mm-hmm.
And his laser unintentionally becomes a focal point for everybody that hadn't passed yet in his class, and so they all are able to gather together and team up, and they all end up passing, including Aoyama. But something that happened in there was that the Invisible Girl, I think her name is is it Jiro?
Yeah, you know how good I am with names.
Yeah, well, the Invisible Girl, she does her special move, and basically she refracts light and blinds everyone. And that's very interesting because it gives us a little bit of insight into the nature of her quirk, which I like, because they've never even discussed how her quirk works in the anime. She's just invisible. Like that's
yeah.
Invisible, and that's that.
Pretty much, he's just there.
Yeah.
She's one of those characters, nobody seems to really.
Right.
Yeah, she's just like I said. She's like pretty much a gag character. At least she's been. That's what she's been so far.
Right, but with this, now she's potentially a girl who bends light around her skin.
Yes. Cause I gotta go back and check and see. Cause I think they didn't give us any real information about her quirk at all.
None, like none.
Huh.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, she just makes like
I need information. I need to know these things, and they're just not giving it to me. It's awesome.
Yeah, she pretty much just shows up as like she's always there somewhere. But you never know what she's up to.
Right, exactly. And so it's like, But this is really cool. This gives her a lot of versatility in terms of what she could probably be capable of. Because if she can bend the light that's around her, that's moving around her skin, in a way that it can blind other people, then she can probably bend her light in a way that could make other people invisible.
That would be interesting to see her do.
Right. So like, I just the fact that she can bend the light makes it a possibility.
True.
I'm not saying that they'll go there, but it is a possibility. And
I think she has to become a little more just a side character because even Gravity Girl is taking more of an head-on role, a more active role.
Yeah.
Actually, I think all the other characters are taking more actively. She's the only one that's not really there. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's funny to say she's not really there when she's invisible, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like I know so little about her that it's ridiculous right now. That she's just a
But
character that's
that's
there.
exactly my point. That's exactly my point. And so this gives us a little more information that I'm really happy to have.
Yeah, I think I want to see how that goes and what to do with that. I gotta go back and check and see if they might have snuck it in somewhere in the manga, but I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and take a look. Mm-hmm.
Because I get that scientifically that's how invisibility would work. And just bending the light around something so that the light doesn't touch that thing and then bounce back to our eyes. Um, but
Yeah.
it's nice to know that that's how it works here. Because, anime, there's never really a guarantee.
That anything works the way it's supposed to work.
Right.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to actually have them say it.
Exactly. That's how I feel. And so now I'm just thinking there's a whole list of things you could do with her ability. Just a whole list. And so
Yeah.
I'm really happy about that.
She could definitely become a more useful character than she currently is right now, and stop being such a side character. Cause I think her powers, if she could control invisibility and what I mean, if it's bending light, she has a lot of capabilities she could do.
A lot of capabilities. She essentially has the entire arsenal of Susan Storm from Marvel Comics, like at her disposal potentially. Potentially.
Okay, I could see that a little. Storm.
Because she's literally the Invisible Girl.
Oh yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if it's bending light, which is exactly what Sue Storm does, then she technically has access to everything Sue Storm can do.
That's true. Okay, I see where you're going with that. That makes sense. It's just how she utilizes it. Our next one of the
Right.
characters that don't really get mentioned too much, that I think is quite OP, is the Gravity Girl.
I think she can be OP. She's not there yet. In my opinion.
No, none of them really are there yet. But I think
don't know, man. Todoroki is kind of there right now.
didn't he just fail?
I mean, but he failed because he was a d-bag. He didn't fail because he wasn't OP. He failed because he was more obsessed with fighting that other kid.
Then he was actually completely test. Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I don't know. I think he's by far the most potentially powerful character they have, as far as the kids go.
Yeah, his abilities are just insane, and the fact that he doesn't seem to really have a downside as long as he gets his head out of his ass and starts using both abilities.
Yeah, pretty much. He is his own weakness.
Yeah, exactly. Like his own weakness is his personality. It's
Yeah.
insane how powerful he can be.
Yeah, because we haven't really seen him do much, but the few things he has done, it's been ridiculous as far as power go.
We've seen the upper limits of his ice, and the thing about his ice is that it's his fire that can allow him to go farther.
Yes, and he's still very unwilling to use it.
Right. And it's just like, just grow up and use it. Like it makes you better.
I think that's good.
I get the emotional hang up. I do.
Yeah, I get it too. I think that's what Midori was trying to tell him. You know what I mean? You can't be the best if you can only use half. He was like, you're looking down on the rest of us.
Right. Which I understand. Like, you've got everybody here who's, just giving it everything they've got, day in and day out. And did you really think you were going to be number one?
Just going, yeah.
Like only going at half strength? Did you really think so little of the rest of us? that you thought you were going to be able to be number one without even going all out, like, that's insulting.
Yeah, I understood what Midori meant by that, and I get that. It seems to be one of those situations where, but can you really blame him? He's been top of his class forever, so it's kind of one of those things where it's like he's always been at the top. He's always done it halfway. So to him, he's like,
Yeah, but I mean, they just started, and they're only getting better. And him, he really wasn't growing much. Like this, like him, you know, getting over himself and using his fire, that was his growth.
true.
So, like, in terms of using his ice, not much was ever really going to happen there.
Okay, I can see that. I think yeah, he's getting to the point where he could be a really, where he could really like help out in that way. Oh my grief, stupid thing.
Yeah.
But he still has some ways to go, and that's kind of where it is. It's like, you know, he's still trying to figure out himself.
Right. Right. And he has a lot of personal stuff that he has to get through, and I get that.
Yes. And I think that's the thing with his character right now. And I think that's what they're trying to show with him and Bakudo. Even though they're like really, very potentially very powerful characters, they're still too immature to hold a real rank, or to be very, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Bakugo's a whole other issue. It just feels like every time he's shown that he should be humble, he just kind of doubles down and gets.
He does. He does. I'm like, this guy is ridiculous. It's like, what do you do? It's like he's just like, I don't know, man. He's just crazy.
Like, absolutely refuses to grow. Like, absolutely refuses to grow. And yet, in a weird way, he is growing. It's very. I don't think I've ever really seen a character go quite as far with it as him.
That's true. I'm thinking about it too, yeah. A lot of times you do see characters who show that, you know, the whole aggressive type character type thing, but he's just next level.
Yeah. He's like upset. But, I mean, I do think it's a good example of what happens when you shower a kid with praise from day one, and then he has to go out into the real world and accept the fact that he's not as special as he thought he was. Like,
Yeah.
It's not that he's not good, but, you know, I think in his mind, he expected to be like the only one worthy.
Yeah, he expected this to be a cakewalk pretty much.
Right.
And
you know, he's had multiple humbling experiences. Like,
yeah,
multiple.
he has. I think in a lot of ways he is growing a little bit, but he's still too full of himself.
Way too full of himself.
And I think as soon as he figured that out, he'll be a lot better of a more developed character in that way, where he could actually be a true hero and get, you know what I mean? Because right now he's not. I don't want to say he's not close to. Yeah. Like he's a great firepower for the team, but that's about it.
Right. I mean, and it's also another thing that I like to mention. I like that they're subverting the natural trope of the hot-headed guy not being so bright.
Yeah.
Because he is surprisingly smart.
Yeah, he is. He's actually pretty. Yeah. And you saw even this fight with Midori, he learns, he adjusts, he changes. You know what I mean? He doesn't really. He's not sticking to the same thing over and over, the same old, you know what I mean? Bag of tricks. He's like, oh, that doesn't work. Let's try something new. And he's willing to move on, which is pretty nice to see. But of all the characters, and I'm like, he's the one character I'm really feeling is like, has the most potential of becoming a villain, or had the most potential of becoming a villain. Because he's
Absolutely,
just like,
100%.
it's just like, you look, yeah.
I was gonna say like that is something that they addressed in
Yeah,
that arc.
I did like that they do that too, because I'm like, I don't know what to feel about this kid. Because you're like, I think he's gonna be evil. It's like, what I mean? You're like, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be evil. I'm not 100%, but I'm.
No, I was so sure he was gonna be a villain.
Yeah.
And so when that reporter at that interview said it, I was like, oh man, like. But then what's his name?
The teacher?
Yes. Oh god, I forget his hero name.
It's the guy who takes away your powers.
Yes.
Something with blinking, I think.
The bad memory is contagious, man.
Hey. Listen, I remember other stuff. I've been trying to play Minecraft and build redstone stuff, you know what I mean? So, using up all the RAM I have. Oh my grief. Yeah, but yeah, he said it, and that was like, it's kind of that whole, there was an episode that already took place in the anime where they went and asked all the parents to take the students, and there was two of them that really I felt was really cool, and that was Midori and Bakudo. When they were talking, those two parents, I was like, yeah, that's cool. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. I like that. Let's see more of that. Let's see where that goes.
Well, Midoriya's mom was completely justified in freaking out.
Absolutely.
Like, her kid's been in the hospital like every other month since he joined the school.
He really has. He's always getting beat up. It's ridiculous. I don't know.
He's always in the hospital.
But he's trying to save people, but he's not, with no regard for himself. And I think he's starting to learn a little bit more now that you gotta pay more attention to you.
Right.
Or else there's no point.
And it's not like to say like he just doesn't care about his own life, but it's like he understands that he doesn't have control over his power, and he's more than willing to injure himself.
Yeah.
If it means helping. But I don't think he's just like, I'm gonna go break my arm now. Like, hey.
No. He's not. I don't think he's that sadistic, or whatever you want to call it. Right? But I think it's one of those situations where he's kind of one of those end justify the means type character.
Right, and that I agree with. I do think that he is just that kind of a guy. Like he's going to do it if it means helping.
Yeah, and I think, dude, his thing though, he's too. I don't know how to say this properly. He's trying to help too much a lot of times.
He's too selfless.
Yeah, and that puts him in a lot of trouble, because instead of him actually, and I think they say too, you know what I mean? Like, it's as a hero, you can't be showing that kind of thing to people. You know what I mean? You gotta be a hero. You gotta. Yeah, and being beat up is kind of his MO.
Well, it was for a while. Thank God it's not anymore.
Yeah, cause this time when he fought the other guy, he wasn't really that trash. I mean, actually, he was beat up. He was quite beat up when he fought this last guy. And then, they told him to go clean up because you can't perform like that.
Right.
But yeah, cause when he fought, what is it? Love, and I don't remember their villain names.
Okay, so I remember Lover.
Yeah.
Like Lover, or something like that. And I can't remember his name. And it's so funny because he's like one of my favorite villains in the whole show.
I don't remember his name, but yeah, when he fought the two of them, he took a beating. I forgot why I came back here. He took a beating, but he didn't he wasn't, he wasn't that extremely damaged like he was before. Cause before, he gets trashed.
Every time he used his ability, every time, he would hurt himself. It was actually really sad.
Yeah, and it was always really bad, to the point where even the lady who's healed them was fed up with him. Like
She
literally,
actually like refused,
yeah.
like flat out refused to
The
stop.
doctor was like,
Yeah.
dude, you're on your own. Figure this out yourself. Leave me alone. He's like, I'm done. Cause she's like, yeah,
Yeah.
soon my power won't be able to do anything else for you. Um, yeah,
Because all her power really does is like stimulate your natural healing ability. So technically, like she's not, it's not like magic. She's still just using your own healing for you. She's just speeding up the process.
I wonder what
But
the
like you
side
can't
effects of
just
that is.
heal yourself. I don't know. I mean, probably yeah. There's gotta be side effects, but it's funny that they've never discussed it. So I don't think they ever really intend to.
True. Cause there gotta be a side effect for you using up your, like, forcing your body to heal faster all the time.
Yeah.
Cause I think even like Naruto addressed that, and they have such well logical systems of fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they'll address it in the future. I'm not sure. But his arms seem to be getting better.
True. And now that he's starting to kick a little more and less arm,
Right.
he might do a little better now.
I think we'll get there.
Yeah, I think he. So we already know, because he said in the beginning, this is how he became the #1 hero.
Right.
So we kind of already know that the path, where this path is leading. So we kind of know what's gonna happen there, and that's kind of one of those things where you're like, yeah, #1 hero. That's what he's doing, right?
Yeah, that's how he's getting there.
So it's kind of one of those things where that's not a surprise, but it's just kind of showing, this is how the #1 hero is born. And I think that's a good place to actually end this one today, if you agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I think that's a good place to end this. And so this last couple of chapters didn't have. There were a lot of stuff, but there were a lot of explanation stuff, if that makes any sense. So
Plus, I feel like more than anything, they just kind of set up for future chapters.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's kind of what that was more for. It wasn't more like, like the first couple chapters and stuff like that was just like, oh, really, a lot happened. Let's go see how this is, see what that is, blah, blah, blah. But this one, I think, was a little different the way how these couple chapters worked out. Which isn't bad, but it's a lot of like character explanation, powers, stuff like that, and a lot of little character development stuff.
Right. Right. So, yeah, I'd say this is a good place to end. And
Yeah.
next time we come back, we'll probably have an explanation as to what the dream sequence represented.
I really hope so.
I do too. I really hope that they don't like make us wait a year to get into what the hell that was all about.
Right? Make you wait forever, and then they're like, oh yeah, yeah. But I'm thinking he's gonna get a power up though.
I'm thinking that One for All may be a little bit more than what All Might thought it was.
Interesting. We'll have to do a theory video at the end, seeing what kind of crazy theory we come up with about this. Yeah, folks, but I think this is a good place to end this. We're gonna call this a day here. I think we'll be doing this for what, over an hour now?
Almost
2 hours. Yeah, that's way too long. But yeah, I think we're gonna call this a day here. This is your host, Player One, and we got Can't See the Other Line. Hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget, leave some comments. Get in there, jump in the conversation yourself. We want to hear from you guys too, and hear what you think about this show. What you guys felt about the last of the revelations we had in this show. Do you guys think that it was enough? You think they need to do more? Like, we want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you guys think. All right? And then we'll go from there. So, all right, folks. I'm gonna sign out. See you guys later. Peace.
Later.